G'day. Facebook, I'm going to try that again. I'm just coming to you live from my my little makeshift office here at the dining room table. I like to move my working locations around. If you haven't tried that and you're a work from home person, you should try it. It's great to change up the energy every day, go to a different cafe to work, or just even, like I'm doing, changing your location around the house where you're sitting and working. So just thought I'd get on here because I am starting a new 30 days of Facebook Live. Because you need to do, all of us need to do something that scares us at least once a day, and this still makes me a little bit nervous. Some days I'm really fired up to do this, and to be honest, other days I'm not. But here I am laying it all out on the table. So I'm starting a new 30 days of live. I'm really, I'm on fire to just really bring as much value into these Facebook Lives as I possibly can. And look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I love talking about mindset and growth and personal development because, the minute I found myself on this journey of growing myself, I just became absolutely addicted. Some of you out there might know exactly what I'm talking about, but it is really a cool space to be in. And, we all know if you're not growing, you're in the process of dying. And that's just how it is, really. So I'm starting a new 30 days of Facebook Live. I love mindset. I love, helping women, build their inner mojo, ignite their inner bliss. That's my absolute passion. And I am going to start getting a bit more intentional about talking about income and money and business during this 30 days, because let's face it, there's a lot of financial stress out there right now. And I could name, 5 people right off the top of my head who absolutely are suffering, in terms of their families and emotionally from stress. And we know that most stress comes from finances. So, as most of you know, I run a business from home. It's all about wellness. So that's a big part of it. But I'm really excited to kick off a new 30 days of lives. And I'm going to be coming at you here, there, and everywhere. Last night I did a quick live on what I was making for dinner, and it was absolutely sensational. So for anyone who got on there and saw it, was pretty cool. What I made, really super simple, but really neat. So I'm just keeping it real here. So today I'm just thinking about this idea of having a story, and a lot of the training that I've done with my business and in personal development is all about having a story. And I was just on Google, just looking at some different articles in that, and it's really interesting because the whole area of entrepreneurial activity right now, there's so many entrepreneurs, right? Like home business people, online marketing, they're just popping every day. People are starting to figure out that, the idea of a job, in a position for 5, 10, 15 years is gone. It will not be there. So just a sidebar, get your kids armed, because I know that by the time my kids get to be 20 and are, going through school, finish school, it ain't going to be like it was now or, 5 years ago. So anyway, just thinking about entrepreneurial activity, and read this really cool article, and I can't even remember where I saw it on. I think it was on Forbes. Really neat article about how powerful it is when entrepreneurs share their story. And this really applies to anybody. This applies to anybody who's going after a goal, whether it's a health goal, a weight loss goal, a business goal, a personal goal, a relationship goal. Okay, it all comes down to the story that you are telling yourself in your head day in and day out, because even if you don't realize it, you are telling yourself a story. And you'll hear this over and over again if you listen to any, Tony Robbins or Les Brown, any of that kind of stuff, you will hear that a lot, right? So for any goal, for any achievement, for any change and growth, we need a story. And it's especially relevant to entrepreneurs, home-based business people like moi to have an empowering story. Because here's the deal. Most people, when they start with a change, right, or a goal or whatever it is, right, they're starting from a place that could be a place of challenge. They're unhappy, things have happened in their lives and they don't want to be there. And it's very, very tempting to continually tell the story that is the reality. So, I could tell you a few stories about, my situation. People have challenges in their lives, right? But it's very tempting for your brain to just keep telling the story of what is right now over and over and over again in your head, right? But that's not going to get you anywhere. That's not going to propel you to where you want to go. That's not going to make any lasting change. That's going to do absolutely ditto for you because, you are where you are, you've lost your job or, which is a horrible thing. And I'm not downplaying any of this. And this is not easy. It's very challenging, but we have to develop an empowering story around where we want to go, because we need to tell the universe, this is where I want to go. I don't actually want to stay. Hey, Eamon, I don't want to stay where I am right now. I want to change. This is where I want to be. This is who I want to become. This is where I want to go. And it's not about not being grateful for what you have right now. Absolutely. But to be in the mindset of telling an empowering story to yourself. You can use a script, you can use just daily writings, journaling, but you have to come up with a story. So for me, for example, I was a mom, still am a mom, but I was a mom, hit 40, 3 little kids, feeling like crap, lots of extra weight carrying on, I was exercising and doing all the right things, eating well and still feeling like crap with very little mojo, no motivation. And that all changed when, I was presented with an opportunity and, it took us a long time to sort of weave through all the stuff. But I knew at some point that I had to come up with an empowering story, because my story at that time was you don't have any business skills. You're just a mom. You've never really, had a big highfalutin career. You've never made, a 6-figure income. You've been out of the workforce for 7 years. It's all this stuff, right? That was my current reality. But instead of making that my story, I had to come up with a more empowering one. So here's the deal. So just 3 key things for you to help you come up with a more empowering story. So, people talk about this why, find your why. If you listen to any Simon Sinek, his TED talk about the why when he looks at Apple as compared to other computer companies, and that is really, really cool. But it's true. You got to figure out your why. You got to figure out inside what's driving you. What do you really want? What is it that brings you to the point of emotion and tears? Excuse me. What is it that you want? Why are you doing something? So it's when I coach people, I say, okay, that's great. If it's somebody in the who's looking for a health result, it's great. You want to lose 10 kilos, but actually it's not about losing 10 kilos, right? It's all those hidden benefits and the pain for that person. Why is it that you want to lose 10 kilos? She wants to lose 10 kilos so that she can put a bikini on again and actually love herself when she looks in the mirror and feel attractive to her husband. Boing, that's huge. That is a why, right? And it'll probably bring that particular person to absolute tears, right? So first thing, figure out your why, right? Figure out what's driving you. And a lot of times you could have a very personal why. And then if you're running a business like I am, or building a team, if you're building a team, you can also have a more like a vision why, right? And this is Susan Sly, who is a leader in our company, talks about this. You have a personal why and a vision why. So I definitely have both, which I've talked a little bit about. Okay, and then one great thing that I love to do is remember those moments where you felt really powerful. Remember those times in your life where you felt really good, you felt mentally strong, you felt confident, you felt powerful, you felt really good. You had those moments in your life where you felt like you could absolutely, take on the world for sure. So you have to remember Take notice of those times. And if you haven't had one of those for a while, you got to figure out what's going to put you in that state. And usually, if you listen to Tony Robbins talk about this, usually it's putting yourself in some sort of movement, right? So for me, it's always exercise. Absolutely. When I go to the gym, put my headphones on, listening to empowering music and podcasts and things like that, absolutely puts me in that state of power. And then you absolutely will come up with some amazing thoughts about what you can achieve. And this sort of power zone is where you can start with developing your story. Right. And then the third thing is obviously comes down to beliefs. You know, we all have beliefs, and those beliefs have been built up by our upbringing, you know, which really created sort of our philosophy and what we think about things, what we feel is right and what we feel is wrong. This is all tied up in our beliefs. And a lot of people have very limited beliefs about themselves, right? But you can't have an empowering story until you start changing how you believe about what you believe about yourself and what you can do. Absolutely. Right. So, and this is a big thing. It's definitely not something that, you know, happens overnight. It's probably the topic of another blog article or video or something. But, you know, beliefs come from all of the events and upbringing and, you know, beliefs from your parents. It's all tied up in your history, I guess, and it will determine how easily you can get yourself into an empowering story. So, you know, if you need to change those beliefs, if you have limiting beliefs, right, you have to go back and change them. And changing them takes time. It takes practice. It takes consistency. It takes effort of affirmations and doing things every single day that are going to change those beliefs. Absolutely. So, hope you got value from those three things in making an empowering story for yourself. So super important in any sort of goal that you may be going after. It's a big deal in any sort of personal development. So I hope you got some value from that. My 3 tips on how to get yourself into writing a more empowering story for yourself. And we will see you tomorrow. You can come see me at my blog, christineburke.net. You can come see me on my my fan page, Ignite Your Inner Bliss. And we're just about to start another 30-day challenge very, very soon. If you're keen on that, jump in. And we've just created an awesome support group for men for health and Amen. This is definitely something that I think will help you. So we'll see you tomorrow, folks. Bye.